Claire here in the Pacific Northwest Puget Sound area, Grow Zone 8B. It's January, kind of the tail end of it, but I'm back, and like I like to think, better late than never. I did not come into the new year with that new year, new me, go, go, go energy. I definitely have embraced a lot of slow living this month and just stayed inside, stayed cozy. We've got some snow recently. We had, the low temperatures that I think most of the country experienced with, in the teens, below zero for some of you guys. So it was definitely, I don't want to go out into and not leave the house and not be in my pajama kind of mood. With that being said, I do want to show you what we've been up to the last few weeks, just a few little tidbits here and there, and things that I'm working on this year, things that I'm excited to learn, to projects to finish. And also, I would love to share with you a recipe that I developed that's a sourdough discard carrot cake that was so delicious. So come with me, I'll show you all the little things and stick around for the recipe. The only resolution that I had this year is that I wanted to get one of those birdhouse that stick onto your window, but Connor reminded me that he made a birdhouse for Cub Scouts last year. So we finally hung it up and put some seed in there, and it was just in time because I remembered last year around the time it started snowing, we started seeing more birds visit our yard. So we wanted to make sure that we had lots of treats for them, and it paid off for them and for us because we got a little show. We got to see our little friends again, and they have been very entertaining for us the last couple weeks. Well, y'all, I just had to share this with you. This is not a time for a cute themed outfit, but I just got a delivery of some wood chips that I actually really needed. And you never know when they're going to come. You just sign up and say, "Can I have some?" And they bring you a whole bunch. So it's 20 something degrees outside, going to be even colder tomorrow. And so not the best day to do garden and stuff, but I'm thankful for it. I really needed it for the chicken coop and another garden project that I hope to get started on. And the award for world's most redneckest backyard and idea comes from us. Connor did not get enough snow to try out his sled, so he had to get inventive. This is one of the most beautiful sunsets we've had in a while. Just all the colors blending together. It is so magical. I wanted to show you guys my newest acquisition that I'm excited about. I got this little chest of drawers for free to use for sort of a little kitchen island prep area. And I love how rustic and beat up it is. And then I also wanted to share with you guys some new books that I got. They're actually old, but I got them on eBay. And I love John S. Goodall. He is my new favorite illustrator. He is known for having wordless picture books, and they are so intricate and detailed. This one is a look at an English village, and it shows how the village changes throughout the years and how this family's home changes as through the centuries. So I just think this is so unique and so beautiful. I could just soak in every single detail. If you get a chance to ever look at any of his works, you can go to archive.org and look at a lot of out-of-print books, and some of his works are there. I highly encourage you to go look at them if this is your kind of thing that you're interested in. I absolutely love Tasha Tudor, and this book is not written by her, but it is illustrated, which is just so fabulous. Sort of the same thing. She's got all these little tiny details, little special tiny details in all of her books that just make you want to live in the pictures. And one thing I love about this is that it has throughout the year, like an entire calendar year of different parties and menus that you can have for the parties and occasions and holidays. And I would just love to be able to have these occasions for every single thing she has proposed and try all of these recipes. So I need to get busy to making some friends so that I can invite people over to spend time with me, and so that we can have some delicious treats and create our own version of these cute pictures. So, one of the things that y'all might know that I've been getting into lately is sourdough. And with that, once you feed it, you create what's called discard. And it feels really wasteful to not use it. So, I've been trying out other people's discard recipes. And anything that requires baking, I always Google, is there a discard recipe for this? So, I got a hankering for some carrot cake, and I thought, why don't I try to make a carrot cake? Well, I did Google some recipes and I didn't ever turn up anything quite like what I wanted. So I started playing around and I decided I was going to give it a go. So, of course, first things first, when you're making a carrot cake, is you're going to need to peel and grate some carrots. I used a cup of grated carrots. And side note, I wish I had have not been listening to a TV show on my iPad, because this would have made a wonderful ASMR video if you're into that kind of thing. You're just going to add your carrots to a bowl that you're going to add all of your wet ingredients to. The first wet ingredient that I added was a cup of my sourdough starter discard. It wasn't freshly fed or anything like this. This was just needed to go. And this particular sourdough was even a little bit more on the fermenty side, and it didn't affect the taste of the overall recipe. It was really good. It was nice and tangy. I then added 3/4 cup of oil. I used olive oil because it's what I had on hand, and I have an aversion and dislike for vegetable oil, so I don't use that. And then you're going to crack 3 eggs into your bowl. And then you're going to put a cup of brown sugar in with your wet ingredients. Then you add vanilla, and you do that with your heart. You don't do that with a tablespoon. I just had my own Joe March Little Women moment where I burned my actual hair with fire. Do you see that? That is from a candle, my friends. I bent over a nice candle that I lit for ambiance, and well, it's burnt and it's stinky. Hopefully y'all avoid your own fire emergency, so skip that step, but move on to just mixing up your wet ingredients until they're all nice and incorporated. Now you're going to get a separate bowl to mix up your dry ingredients. You're going to add 2 cups of flour to your bowl. Then you'll add in a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and then you'll add in a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, and then a whole teaspoon of cinnamon. And then you're gonna whisk around and really mix well your dry ingredients. Then you're gonna wanna gradually add in your dry ingredients to your wet and mix it. Don't do it all at once. I did it in about 1/3 of the bowl each time until it was all incorporated. And then I added a 1/2 cup of raisins and then a 1/2 cup of pecans. And I chopped them up real fine. And then I added in a 1/2 cup of applesauce that I had made this summer. It's really sweet and delicious. And then I just kind of folded that in. I didn't vigorously stir any of that together. Then I greased and floured 2 round cake pans. Then I evenly distributed the batter to both cake pans and then spread it out to the edges. And then I cooked them for 35 minutes at 350 degrees and plopped them onto some cooling racks because I wanted to let them fully cool before I put the icing on them. Fully cooled, I made a pretty basic cream cheese frosting, but it is so good. I used 8 ounces of softened cream cheese, 1/2 cup of softened butter, and 3 cups of powdered sugar, and then of course you got to add in some vanilla extract. And I did not. I just hand whipped it. I used a lot of elbow grease, but it came out to the right consistency that I wanted. So then I just decided to ice the cake, and I am by no means a professional cake icer, but I put some in the middle of the 2 layers and then started filling in on the top and try to bring it down to the sides. I think that I can definitely see why professional cake makers use a lazy Susan to do the sides, because it got pretty messy, but it was so delicious. And now the best part of all is getting to cut into it and see how it looks, and of course taste it. My kids just loved this. My husband loved it. My perception of the consistency of this cake, it reminds me of maybe like a banana bread, and so I think it could very well do good in a loaf pan. I just didn't test it for that. So you could give it a try in that way. I might do that in the future myself. I hope you enjoyed catching up with me today. And if you make the cake that I showed you, please feel free to let me know what you think of it. If there's any improvements you would make, I'm always open to feedback. But I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful week. And Lord willing, and if the creek don't rise, I'll see you next week.